Hello, friends. I'm speaking to you on the 22nd of November, Tuesday. Cheers. Got it good this morning. Got the coffee good. Well, it's kind of interesting how I'll be tootling along and not much is happening, and then the next thing you know, I get a bunch of stuff arrive. So I had several packages arrive yesterday for review, plus one VCLT. I'm not going to do everything today because, number one, I want to acknowledge to Martin Archer of Discus Music that I got his latest 3 releases. And I don't want to do just a first impression because my first impressions of all 3 of these are very, very good. Very good. I'll go this far. The Martin Pine David Beebe Ripples duets with vibraphone and Fender Rhodes. Boy, this starts off fantastically beautiful and otherworldly. So I'll be getting to those. I'd like to just say something further about the final. I kept forgetting to mention that I know that this is Justin Broderick of Godflesh. I know Godflesh. Never really liked Godflesh. You know, I tried to get into them. It was close to what I like, but not quite. I'll check this out again. But what I said was my reaction to it. It's like it's obviously good work, but it's like, you know, he's realizing what he's trying to realize. I mean, the name of this is I Am the Dirt Under Your Fingernails, okay? Doesn't sound like it's trying to create something very pleasant. Trish, thank you for checking in on me. That's nice of you. But I also received, you're so nice. You send me these discs, these mixes, you know. And it's kind of you to share your love of music with me. And I want to let you know, Trish, that I am actually impressed with your seem to be fairly well-rounded knowledge. I mean, you sent me these based on me showing singles and stuff. And so we have everything from the Harry Chapin Casey and the Sunshine Band to Lonnie Donegan, Unit 4+2. And then you gave me a rhythm a rhythm disc. Let the rhythm. It's so kind of you. Monophonics on here, Afro-Celt sound system. Thank you. Very kind of you. I will make a mention of this other public Eyesore item I got today. The BSBLOrk, which is the I think it's the Brazilian or Brasilia. Let me see if I can look it up right quick. Laptop orchestra. There's all kinds of interesting stuff going on in the world of art and music all the time, and I didn't know about this particular group or what they do. And did I find it online yet? No, I haven't yet. So what I can say is this is real interesting, real intense. 10 years alive. It's 11 recordings of live recordings throughout a 10-year period. And this is some heady, eerie stuff. You know, laptop orchestras. One of the big impressions I got from listening to this is the creation of space. Like literally traveling through space as though you're encountering different dimensions or and even within our cosmos, different galaxies and unknown places that are intriguing but curious and slightly mysterious. So I'll give that much of an impression of that disc from Public Eyesore. I do recommend this stuff. I mean, if you're an adventurous listener or if you're just looking for something outside of the usual, like Taylor Swift, this is some stuff for you, okay? I also got some VCLT from Roger down in Lincoln. He sent me his black vinyl copy of the new legendary Pink Dots album, The Museum of Human Happiness, because he went to the show last Friday and picked up the color vinyl. Now, I had intended to go to see legendary Pink Dots, but it was really cold, and I just couldn't get motivated to leave the house. Do I regret missing the show? No, because I've seen them before, and I met Edward Cospell years ago. Now, what I want to tell you, though, is I think this is the best thing I've ever heard by them. Very interesting how the sound continues to develop. Now, he is a weaver of tales. That's another of the things about legendary Pink Dots. The music is very strange and wonderful, but his wordplay and his mind are interesting. I do like listening to his stories and references, things that he'll say that will just kind of like, it'll like push a little button in the brain and it'll like cause thoughts. This is really good. I did watch some of them LPD on this current tour before the show Friday to decide whether or not to go. And the thing about people who are playing electronic shows and there's not a lot to watch, that's just it. It's like you could go and hear it too loud, which is my complaint, is that live shows are too loud. You can be in their presence, which is the main thing, is to be in their presence while they perform. But like I said, I'd seen them before, so I don't regret not going. This came in the mail from a fella by the name of, well, he's on the album, David Pavkovic. Now, I'm going to give you a first impression, David, but I will come back to this because I like this already. This is the kind of thing that I'm into. It's instrumental. Every Shape of Diamond, 10 of Diamonds. Every Shape of Diamond, 10 of Diamonds. Written and performed by David Pavkovic and Joshua LaRue. And I just didn't listen to the whole thing. And my first impression is a good one. It's instrumental. David mentioned how he kind of got hooked into watching me after hearing me talk about David Sylvian. I don't hear David Sylvian in this, but what I hear is a sensibility that takes that in, where there's stuff going on here that's not all on the surface, and I imagine that repeated listens. I plan to get into this today. This is also a limited edition. It's not, can you see that it's opaque? You can see through it. There's only 100 copies of this too, and it feels interesting. It feels like almost like a lathe cut. I see that it's not, but it's pretty cool. First impression is good, David. I will speak about this again. I will give it a proper review again after I really get a chance to absorb it. But I like it, and it's striking me as the sort of thing I'm going to want to listen to. Okay? I do want to touch base on this other public Eyesore release. Well, this is a co-release by Public Eyesore and several other organizations I see. But it's a collaboration between Illusion of Safety and Zev. I'm familiar with both artists, have been for a while. These are folks working with sound. Zev, you might know, he worked with industrial waste and big metal bins, and he was very physical with his performances. Fascinating. This is a nice release. Only 100 of copies of this? Or is it 300? I think there's 300 of this. And this is very nice. Beautiful plate. Now, the other thing that I noticed about this is the dead wax. This is the first time I'm seeing a dead wax where it's printed out like by a computer. You can't see it, but usually the dead wax is written on there. You see that? The dead wax where it's like printed out by a computer. That's the first time I've noticed that on the record. This is compelling, and it's in the same wheelhouse as the Cleist-War, and the Final. This is sound work. It's compelling. It's compelling. It's not as dark as the Final. That's what was getting me about the Final. It's like, my goodness, this is a kind of a dark place to be. I don't know how much time I want to spend here. That's the impression I got. It's not a bad review. It's like that's my response to that music, which is what we're going for as an artist. You want people to respond to what you're doing. This is intriguing here, like the I reference Faust and Spontaneous Music Ensemble and stuff like that, where and David Tudor even, where you set up sound environments to explore. This is pretty interesting. I wanted to show that those artists aren't new to me. I've had this Illusion of Safety album for years. More Violence and Geography on Complacency Records. This came out in 1988. I got it in 1988. I don't play it much, but this is good. You know, found sound, radio, field recordings, electronics. So yeah, I know of Illusion of Safety, and I've also had these Zev albums for a long time. This is a Zev album. Is there a title? Bust This is the name of this one on the Dossier Records label. And this one, Schönste Muziek. There he is. Gone from us already, passed away already, unfortunately. Interesting stuff. I like to be interested. I'll go ahead and show. Roger is so nice. When he sends me VCLT, he'll always pack it with stuff that's primarily padding for the main item, but he sends me stuff that's kind of interesting, that's like dollar bin stuff, I can tell. Like this one, David Van Tieghem, a 12-inch single of him doing In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida with this big funky sticker that you can't get off that just, defaces it permanently. I like David Van Tieghem's work. Saw him with Laurie Anderson. Really enjoyed his performance with her. This is like, whenever this came out, I don't know who thought it was a funny idea, but someone thought this would be a funny idea in 1986 to do a new wave version of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. It's real throwaway, but cool that he sent it to me. This one is a 12-inch single where it's just the same song, 6 different mixes. This is an example where it's a remixed 12-inch that is really a waste of vinyl. You're not going to listen to these all. I don't know. I can't listen to them all in a row because it's not interesting like that. Short Temper, it's a decent song. You can see how this was pushed as a single. I like Michael Rose from Black Uhuru. And then he sent me this, and I already had these recordings on other records. But it's a double album, Charlie Parker. Oh, it doesn't give the... Oh, yeah. 1947 to 1951. I've heard these solos and these recordings before, but it's nice of him to send that to me. Folks, the only thing I got to say about the world is I just think it's so unfortunate that the mind is so plastic, that the human mind is so malleable and plastic that we can believe anything. The idea that people think it's okay to kill others because of thoughts. I'm referencing the killing in Colorado at the LGBTQ bar. Senseless, And why does the person who's doing the killing, why do they think they have a right to live while they're taking other people's lives they don't even know, based on some weird thoughts in their own mind that if they probably thought about it a lot deeper, they wouldn't even understand. they probably question, why am I even thinking that? Why am I hating on these people? You know, what got me to this point? Because I'm not helping anybody. I'm not helping myself. So just hoping those people can heal up from that and just, man, stop the hate. Stephanie, thinking about you always. I hope you're feeling better today with your back going out and stuff. Adrian, if you happen to see this, hey. Kareem, friends, I'll shout out Bill McHugh by name this one. I forget people, but I see you here. And I think someone who's been with me for years is probably still here. She doesn't say much, but I bet you, Jen, I bet you're still here. Everybody take care now. And let me know how you're doing.